So we're just coming back from the grocery store. Got a good haul in. Cost me about $100, just over $100. 90% of it is all meat. Not a bad haul. Everything was kind of on sale today, so like I got away with some really good deals. Got a ton of pork chops. Got a whole bunch of chicken. Got a whole bunch of ground beef. More chicken and more chicken. It's a pretty good little haul. Makes it that much easier when you walk through the grocery store and you don't have to look at packages. You don't have to look at macros and um, ingredients and stuff on labels. You just grab packs of meat. That's why I enjoy carnivore so much, especially when it comes to the grocery shopping part. It's I don't have to think about stuff anymore. When I was doing keto, I literally had to check every package. What kind of carbs are in here? What kind of sugars? Is there hidden stuff? Is there things like that, right? Like so everything's just different when you don't have to be checking on all that stuff all the time. Makes it that much easier. So with that being said, why not, right? Like carb counting and stuff complicates diets. And when you mess up and tend to grab something that has something hidden in it, then it's bound to screw up your whole fucking day because you're thinking you're in a calorie deficit. You're thinking that you're getting 1,500 calories or whatever your set for your rate is, and you're not. You're actually, because you forgot to add the sauces, you forgot to add the sugars in your drink and your milks and whatever. Now all of a sudden you're through the fucking roof. So most people aren't in a calorie deficit. You'll hear coaches and stuff and dietitians being like, 100% you're not in a calorie deficit. If you're not losing weight and you think you should be, you're not in a calorie deficit. You're not. You have to get a scale, you have to get on it, and you have to find out what your metrics are, what your base metabolic rate is. Once you know what your base metabolic rate is, you can then adjust what your intake is. My base metabolic rate, right from the time I started my diet, was around 1,900 calories a day. So if I sit at home and I do absolutely nothing, I'm burning 1,900 calories. So as long as I'm eating less than 1,900 calories and not doing anything, I'm going to lose weight. So if you're eating in a calorie deficit at like say 1,500, where your base is 19, and you're doing exercise and you're walking, even just walking, not gym, not nothing, just going for a walk every night, your body is actually probably only taking in about 1,000 of those calories out of that 15. So now you're in a huge deficit. And then you probably have to eat more to make up for it because your body needs fuel. So you have to find that sweet spot where your body is actually burning its own fat and its own visceral stuff and stored energies. But at the same time, you have to give it enough energy so you're not crashing and feeling plateaued out and feeling blah. Someone on here the other day was on Facebook, on wherever it was that I seen it, was like, 2 days now I've had no energy and no appetite. It's because you're not eating enough. It's 100% you're not eating enough. You have to eat a fatty pork chop, a fatty piece of steak, like something just to get your fats up. Ground beef and eggs is my go-to. Whenever I feel like, fuck, I haven't eaten nothing today, it's 9 o'clock at night and I'm not even hungry, I make some ground beef and eggs, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. I'm still hungry after eating that, but I wasn't hungry to begin with. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that it's a good thing that you're not hungry because, you're not a fat kid in a store junking out on food. But at the same time, you can't be starving yourself, because if you're starving yourself, then that doesn't do your body any good either. Of course, I'm into a shot where the sun is right in my face and we're cutting us off. But like I said, I don't edit too much stuff out of my videos. I kind of try to leave them as natural as I can, and I try not to stumble on my words. And if I do stumble on them, I leave them in for the most part. I did find a new editing software. I'm going to give it a shot and try it out and see what it's like. But again, I like to keep it as raw as possible, right? Sometimes there's big, huge pauses. If a kid's running the room and I got to pause my video, then I'll cut that out. Things like that. But most of the time I can have a good conversation and babble off my spiel without it cutting out. If you don't know, guys, I'm Jay. I'm the Canadian Carnivore Dad. I'm on a journey from 346 pounds, and as of this week, I am down under 300 or 230, 235, 233, depending on my day. And that's the other thing. Your days are going to change, guys. Because if you wake up in the morning, empty your bladder, jump on the scale with no food, no coffee, no nothing in you yet, and you get your base for the day. And then if I weigh myself at night, sometimes I'm 5 pounds difference. And all that is water and food. So like, I have a buddy that came over the other day and he jumped on the scale and it was like 9 o'clock at night. And I was like, why are you weighing yourself at night? Like, that's not what you weigh. That's you before you've excreted and before you know what I mean? You're full of food and water and whatnot. So just one of those things. Making sure that you're eating, make sure you're staying hydrated. That's another key. Carnivore diet, you're bound to get more dehydrated because you don't have any carbs inside of you holding that water. Think about it. If you got a bunch of bread in your stomach and you drink water, that bread's going to absorb 90% of that water and probably slowly release it into your system as you need it. So you can think of it as a negative or a positive or whatever you want to think of it as, but at the same time, just make sure you're drinking more. Some staying hydrated, things like that.